10 months ago, I, together with several of my colleagues, introduced this ordinance in the Chicago City Council. The ordinance calls for the 2 coal-fired power plants in the city of Chicago, the Fisk plant and the Crawford plant on the city's southwest side, to be cleaned up. Quite often when you introduce an ordinance, you have a hearing almost immediately. For 10 long months we have waited for a hearing, and for 10 long months we have not had a hearing. And so today we are going to have that hearing.
I'm here to support this ordinance. I commend my colleague Joe Moore for doing this because I believe that everyone is entitled to breathe clean air.
This actually is, if we act on this, is going to be a global measure in terms of polluting not only our city and state, but our neighboring cities and our neighboring states. We have 2 plants within the city of Chicago which are in violation of the federal law, have done things at their plants which should have triggered best available control technology. And in the city of Chicago, which has some of the worst air in the entire country, that is a burden to public health and safety, these plants are a major source of that problem, and they need to clean up or close.
For the last 10 years, our communities have been fighting. For the last 10 years, our communities have been struggling to breathe. For the last 10 years, we've been calling out for help, and we are so thankful and so blessed to have all of these people here in the room today and all of the political support that we have, because without all of you and without the aldermen, we would not be here today. As a city, we need to replace these outdated energy sources that are life-threatening. We have with us a stack of letters from students at Farragut, Juarez, Little Village Academy, every possible school that you can think of. We have students who have been voicing their support day after day, year after year, because all they want is the right to breathe. That's all we're asking for. Every day people are dying because they cannot get a breath of clean air. Directly right behind you, you will see gravestones and some candles that have been put out in honor of the people who have passed before us. And I would just ask if folks can take 30 seconds and just think of those souls that have passed and give them some positive energy. Thank you very much.
As you are aware, Fisk and Crawford coal plants are located in the heart of the densely populated Little Village and Pilsen neighborhoods and release tons of particulate matter and particulate matter forming gases and tons of greenhouse gases into the air annually. They are situated in communities more dense than most other plants in the country. Particulate matter released by these plants causes or exacerbates serious pulmonary, cardiopulmonary disease, including at least 347 deaths in the Chicago region annually, as well as 264 respiratory hospital admissions and 548 heart attacks. And this is according to the peer-reviewed methodology that is in use by the Environmental Protection Agency as well as the National Academy of Sciences. 2 of my 3 children have asthma. My oldest son, Eddie, has a very mild case and he needs nothing more than the occasional inhaler. My 9-year-old son, Jack, is more involved with his asthma. Our introduction into the world of caring for a child with asthma happened when he was 2 years old. What seemed like a normal cold turned into an acute asthma attack that required a 3-day stay at Children's. I urge you to use your authority to create the best environment possible for Jack and others who share his potentially life-threatening weakness to power plant pollution. Thank you.
I have to say I'm a little disappointed but not surprised that Alderman Solis isn't here. I'm a longtime resident. I was born and raised in Pilsen, and I have 2 children, and I grew up in a family where we were very health-oriented. We maintained a healthy lifestyle, yet my father has emphysema. I have asthma, hyperthyroidism. My sister had tumors, and when I was married, my husband was from the Caribbean. When we moved into Pilsen, he developed asthma, and when he went to the doctor actually told him that that was due to the poor air quality in Pilsen, the pollution caused by the coal plant. We can't donate thousands of dollars to his campaign, I understand that, but it should be about the voters and not about the donations, and I wish that he would just do what's right. It's my opinion.
I'm Teri Bradley, and I am representing my children. I have two beautiful young daughters, Mackenzie, who's 12, and Annika, who is 9. They were both born with cystic fibrosis, which is a genetic, life-shortening illness that affects the respiratory system and the pancreas. Each day, both of my girls have to do 2 chest physical therapy treatments. They do 3 to 5 nebulizers a day, 4 inhalers, and they also take about 40 different medications every day. It's the damage caused by excess mucus from colds, infections, allergies, and polluted air that build up a sticky mucus inside their lungs and eat away at the lung tissue. The girls can't go outside when the pollution from the coal plants emit too many fine particulates into the air. They can't play in the parks and playgrounds. They can't go on the Ferris wheel at Navy Pier. They can't splash in Millennium Park Fountain. They can't go to the Diversity Mini Golf. We can't go to the Cultural Center art festivals. We are homebound because of the pollution in the air. What am I supposed to say to them when they're teenagers and they need lung transplants because their own city contributed to the pollution that damaged their lungs?
I'm going to talk about money. Money. Do I have your attention? The U.S. EPA found that a proposed restriction on coal power plants would annually avoid 14,000 to 36,000 premature deaths nationally and yield health benefits valued at 50 to 100 times the costs of compliance. The Fisk and Crawford pollutants have caused about $1 billion in health costs to the public since 2002.
I'm here today to remind people that this pollution greatly affects the African American communities on the south side of Chicago as well. The asthma rates in my neighborhood are nearly double that of the national average. I have a hard time believing that if these plants were in fact located on the north side of the city, that they would not have already been cleaned up by now. I believe that this is more than just an environmental issue. This is an issue of social justice.
Coal plants are a focus of the Sierra Club due to the life cycle of environmental damage that accompanies burning coal. Coal mining almost always leads to polluted surface waters due to the massive land movement that occurs with removing coal from the land, whether it's from strip mining, mountaintop removal mining, or longwall mining. All of these mining practices disrupt the natural hydrology of the land, which often leads to compromised drinking water supplies. Burning coal leads to emissions of toxic and harmful pollutants that affect not only people living near the power plants, but also the people on a global level. Coal ash disposal is woefully underregulated. Therefore, we don't even know where the coal ash from these facilities in Chicago is going. We call on the city of Chicago to help move our country and our planet to a cleaner energy future by passing the Chicago Clean Power Ordinance. Thank you.